Yo, 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 it's your boy Jamel Kijana tapping in with the Heavily Opinionated Podcast. I'm just here to talk a little bit of soccer real quick, man. Last week I talked a little bit about Mbappe and the whole drama going on with PSG. And I forgot to mention, I was just so into that going on. I forgot to also mention last week about Harry Kane and his movement over to Bayern Munich. He finally decided to leave Tottenham and he's going after cups. That's what he said. That's really what he wants in his career. Even in his statement leaving, he didn't say it'll be goodbye forever. So, this might be a LeBron situation where he's just going to go get a ring. Like he just wants to go get a cup real quick and he'll be back. But at the end of the day, he's been loyal to Tottenham for some years now and he's yet to get them over the top, even though they have a nice, duo with Son, but it's never really enough. They can't really get the Champions League title, nor the Premier League titles, or the FA Cup. They just haven't gotten anything. And then internationally, he hasn't been able to get England over the top either. They've had close amounts within, the knockout stages of the World Cups, the final of the Euros a few years ago. So he's put in a lot of work, but it's just not been able to finally get there. So, and it sucks because soccer is a sport where professional soccer, there's so many cups you can get. It's not just one ring, like in basketball or American football. It's not like, it's like you got the Super Bowl and you got the finals. That's it. After that, nobody really cares. Like there's no other like ring you could get that people would find relevant. But in soccer, it's so many. And it's like for you to not have any, it's like, oof, it sucks because he is a very high performing player as well. So, but yeah, that's just something I wanted to talk about a little bit. He gets the butt of the joke because right now a lot of people are saying, oh, he's like cursed, because then you look at Bayern Munich and their history of like constantly winning. What is it called? I can't having a brain fart. They constantly win the Bundesliga. Yeah, I was about to call it La Liga, but no, the Bundesliga. They are like they win almost every single year, and then they have deep runs into the Champions League as well. So this was a move that I wouldn't be surprised because he's like, hey, my whole career I've been playing really really hard to get a cup, and if Bayern needs a striker and they're a team that always is winning cups, whether it be from the in the Bundesliga or in the regional tournaments or the Champions League or whatever they do, then why not? So, and he gets there, and his very first game is it's a final for Bayern Munich, and they play against Leipzig. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but and they end up losing. And it's like how when Bayern Munich usually wins these types of finals, they win cups all the time. The only time they really lose is during the Champions League when they face like other competition from outside of Germany, but within the German state, the German country, they're always winning. So I was like, man, that's crazy. I'm like, is he cursed? But I don't know. Maybe they just, they just weren't ready. I don't know. It's hard to say that because I look at how Messi impacted Inter Miami at a completely different rate compared to how, Harry Kane has gone on to Bayern Munich. But I know it's completely different because Messi is dealing with a team where it's just also a different league as well. Like I'm not going to try to compare the MLS to the Bundesliga. Like yeah, Bayern Munich has been the dominant team for many many years, but I don't think any MLS team could even compete in that league. So no. But yeah, I'll move along. Moving right along, though, I want to talk about the England's women's team as well. They're on to the World Cup final. And, I'm pretty excited for them. I watched the replay of the match against Australia because, I'm not up at 4 a.m. I'm sorry. I love football, love soccer. I'm not getting up that early. I think I did, well, where was this one at? It was in Qatar. I think I got up at like 7 to watch the final. No, it was at 11, the past World Cup final this year, or like earlier, end of last year. It was like 11, the final at least. Some of the games were early, but either way, I was not getting up. And I don't see myself doing that either. But this one, they're going to be playing against Spain. And, and it reminded me, I did watch the Women's Euro a few years ago with Chloe Kelly, how she like had that very clutch goal. And like, I was like, wow, that really put me on to the Women's England team. And I was like, oh, they might be, they might be able to beat the United States. Because during that time, there was also still the United States had won back-to-back. So I was just like, well, are they really going to be able to, who's going to be able to take them down? And I thought this year, I hope they didn't run into England, because I watched England as well in the group stage, and I was like, yeah, England looks like the team that could take them down. But US, they didn't. Luckily, well, no, not luckily. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see that matchup, because I would have loved to see the US versus England as well. So yeah, it was nice to see that we got England and Spain in it. And it's kind of nice to see America not in it, because as much as I would have loved to see the dynasty, I want to see these other women, hold the cup up, hold that World Cup trophy up. So we'll see how that goes. I might tap into it, hopefully. And another thing in England news that I saw this week, Manchester City has won the Super Cup. And I'm like, dude, what? Who's going to be able to stop them? And I thought Sevilla was going to be so close. And, I was thinking, I was like, but I also knew, because a few weeks ago I was just at the Crystal Palace match watching them play against Sevilla. And I was like, if Crystal Palace can keep up, I'm pretty sure Manchester could beat them. And even though I know they didn't have their ones, they still had, Sevilla didn't play all their ones, but they still had Ivan Rakitic out there. They still had some solid players out there, and they were only able to tie with Crystal Palace. And it really, honestly, they had a really lucky goal. I'm not trying to take that away from the player that scored it, but it was like right before the halftime. Those goals that are like right before the half are usually just like, people was ready to get out of there anyway. Like, they was ready to take their break. But, at the end of the day, play to the whistle. But, yeah, I saw that and I was just like, oh, okay. I saw the matchup and I'm like, Sevilla, Manchester City's going to win it. Then Sevilla scored early. I was like, okay, just like they did against Crystal Palace. But I was like, that, it was pretty much the same scenario that I saw them against Crystal Palace. They scored right before halftime. And then that's when Manchester City scores in like the 70th minute, as same as Crystal Palace. And then they go straight to penalties. And it was like on the 5th penalty. I'm like, oh, they're going to go to sudden death after this. This man hit the top post. I'm like, bro, how? I was like, that is the most unfortunate thing you could do right there. Like, you were about to just go into sudden deaths, but instead you was like, no, we're going to end it right here. So, they won the Super Cup, and now they've got like 4 cups within one season. So that's really good. Pep Guardiola I can't pronounce his name. I don't know. But he's doing his thing over there. He's getting the cups, racking them up. Him and Haaland and De Bruyne and everybody, Foden and everybody, Mahrez, everybody's doing okay. I've never really been a fan of Manchester City. I just don't really like the colors. Like, I'm not a real fan of Carolina blue. So it's like, they're just kind of off-putting. But, hey, they're doing their thing. I can't be mad at it. Now, I'm going to channel back over to the United States. This is going to be a nice matchup. We got Messi trying to get his first cup here in the MLS within his 6th or 7th game. The man is literally making an immediate impact. Even though Inter Miami, I think I don't know how far they had. I think they already had one round of no, my bad. No, the Leagues Cup had begun when Messi got there. There wasn't any games prior to that within the Leagues Cup before he got there. So he's gotten there and he's immediately about to get them a cup, which I really like Mukhtar, but I don't know if they're gonna be enough to stop Inter Miami, man. They're on a hot streak, and I wouldn't be surprised if Messi gets them rolling, continues the roll, and gets them into the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to get this League Cup, take the foot off the gas, and just worry about winning the title next season, which I would not be surprised, because you do have some older guys on the team now. Your 3 stars that you just brought in are older. So it's like, do you really want to? But then again, it's the MLS, different type of competition. So it's like, maybe they can play the rest of the season full tank. Maybe they can empty the tank, or maybe you just want to get that League Cup, celebrate it, understand, hey, we were in dead last. I don't know, even if we win out, because I don't really know the mathematics of it. I don't know how many they would have to win to make the playoffs, but if it's a reasonable number, why not? So we'll have to see about that, but that would be really nice to see. But yeah, either way, Zimmerman and Mukhtar, they're not going to be enough for Messi. They're going to go ahead and finish that game on Saturday night, and it's going to be crazy. I just want to see how many goals he can score. I don't think it'll be like more than 3, but I definitely know Messi's going to get 1 or 2, so. And of course, Robert Taylor, because that dude is on fire. Never heard of the dude before, too. He got around Messi, but that's the Messi effect, He has that LeBron effect sometimes, where you never heard of the dude until he gets on the team. Now you're like, oh, okay, he's solid, So we're going to move on to 2 more topics, and that's going to be it. But I want to also talk about one of Messi's former teammates, the man himself, Neymar Jr. He's going to Al Hilal. He's headed to Saudi Arabia. He's joining Sadio Mane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, Suarez, like all these dudes that headed out there. And I'm not surprised. You know, Neymar seems like the type of player that's like, hey, I'm going to go take that bag. You know what I mean? Like, look at it, 300 mil in 2 years, you know, and then there was a bunch, I saw like other different things about like, oh, he also gets this and he gets this much for a social media post and this much when he scored. Like he got a bunch of incentives, which is going to be crazy too. And it's just for 2 years. So, you know, maybe he does come over to the MLS because I believe they did say he was in talks with, I think they said MLS, Saudi, and maybe the Premier League. But I don't really know who would have made a move for him in the Premier League. A lot of people are saying Chelsea, but you know, Chelsea tries to go after everybody. So yeah, so I don't really know where he would have went with that, but I know MLS. We all know where he could have went. I think he probably would have tried to go to into Miami, but I don't know if Miami has the money for it because I don't think Neymar is just going to come over there to take that cut. I think they want to make a little bread too. So because he's in a different stage than Messi. You know, Messi has just won a World Cup and he's just been quoted saying, I've got everything now. I've done it all. Like, I'm good. You know, Neymar, he's got those same, he's got the Champions League, he's got the league titles, he's got those. Doesn't have a World Cup. So I believe he would also want to just, focus on the bread. And just him and Messi are different type of people as well. So different mentalities and different priorities in terms of their careers. So, yeah, I'm not surprised by the move to go out that way. And, I hope to see him. I've been seeing that they are now showing more of the Saudi League on Fox Sports, which that was my biggest concern was like, I want to see them because I never really got a chance to see, like I said, the last soccer thing that I talked about, I didn't get a huge chance to see Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe play together unless it was a Champions League game. So you don't really get to see League One, or I can't remember their names. I'm having a trouble remembering all these names in all these league names in different countries. The easiest one is Premier League because it's different. The other ones are like League One, La Liga, Bundesliga. It's just like, oh, these different forms of it, but it is what it is. Yeah. So he, I didn't really get the chance to see him play over there as much. And yeah, hopefully now that they got the Saudi League over on Fox now, I can start to see some more of that. I watched a little bit last night. I think I watched Al Nassr, but I don't think Ronaldo was playing. Sadio Mane was, but no Ronaldo that last night or 2 days ago. I can't remember. It was a replay. But either way, because the time difference out there is also crazy. So it's not like here where it's like, okay, I know the Premier League is going to be on like 5 hours, or like the Bundesliga is going to be like 5 or 6 hours before me. So it's like, by the time I get up, they'll probably be already done with like one or like half of the matches maybe. So just depending on the day. So, but yeah, that's some pretty good news. Hopefully Neymar has some success out there and hopefully he does come to the MLS. I would love to see him play for like LAFC or, not Red Bulls, in New York FC. Red Bulls, either way, I feel like he would fit in with the big cities here in America. Maybe New York with the fashion vibe, or LA with the trendy vibe too as well. Whatever he wants to do, because Neymar's he's that fashionable type of player, that guy that the way his play style is flashy. So I think he would fit in LA or New York, or even I wouldn't say a Chicago, but definitely in Miami too if they had the money or the room to him. Because I look at Miami's squad and it's like, I don't think they really need that much else. I don't think you want to break that up for Neymar, hey, you do what you got to do. But yeah, I would like to see him. I would definitely like to see him here. Even if he goes to Orlando or something like the other team in Florida, that'd be pretty cool to see too. Because they got that rivalry already. I noticed that in the League Cup match. That was the most physical I saw anybody get with Messi. And after that, people were like, okay. But those first 2 games against Cruz Azul and Atlanta, they were just taking it easy on him. But once he started to play against Orlando, they were like, okay, we gotta put a little something on him, and it doesn't work because he's still gonna get his goals, he's still gonna get those nice passes, he's still gonna get you off him. But yeah, either way, I would like to see Neymar pull up and see how he could add more to the MLS and the competition, but that we would have to see that for 2-3 years, and who's to say he would leave? He might sign another huge contract there. I wouldn't blame him on that either. But yeah, I could go on and on about the future of the MLS and players I would love to see over here because I'm just greedy. I'm just greedy about it. I would love to see them. But we're going to move on to the last topic I want to talk about. It's my team, Crystal Palace, the man himself, Michael Olise. There was a lot of speculation and rumors about him leaving. And I was worried. I was like, please don't leave. Like, him and Eze are a great duo. They're the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, Zaha's gone, and they milked the cow with him. They milked the cow was dry with Zaha. It was like they got him help. He always had other players around him, but he never had like a true star for real. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I never really saw a true number two with him. But with Eze and Olise, you got really good young talent, under 25, I believe. I think Eze is like a year or two older, but I could be wrong. But yeah, you got some really good talent over there, and I like the move. They signed him to, I think, another 4 years, I believe. So we're good. We got him still for another 4 years, and I think Eze's good under contract too, and pretty much everybody. I don't think we had some additions. We added like a French player. I can't remember his name. I've been hearing a lot of like Crystal Palace fans saying like, "Oh, we need to start him. We need to start him." We've only had one match. Match day, match 2 is coming up, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, the other guy starts. But we're going to take a look at some of his highlights as well, so you guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah, this guy right here, he's about to take the free kick. Olise, I remember watching this live. I was like, wow. And this was like late in the game too. It was like, ooh, just no emotion too. He was just like, oh, man, I do this. He's solid. I like him. He's a good number 7 for us. So yeah, that's a really good move by him. Yeah, another one, a great assist to Eze himself. You know what I'm saying? Right off the left, he's good, man. Right now he's got injured. I think he plays for the French national team, or maybe like the 21 under. Like U21. I don't think he's on the like full roster yet, but he's working his way. He'll be there soon, definitely. I can't wait to see him and Mbappe and Dembele work together. Like, that's gonna be nice too. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get some more international play. I'm gonna stick to Premier League right now, but he's doing his thing, unfortunately he is injured at the time. He got injured during like some exhibitions for the French team, and I think it was like a 6-month injury, and that was in the summer, so he might not be back until like the end of this year, honestly. So that's going to be tough because Eze without Zaha, no help, it's going to be tough. We got that first win, but it was against, was it like Sheffield or Sunderland? Or it was somebody that it was like, okay, that's easy. And it was only a 1-0 win. And it's like, oh, we could have, if we struggled to put one goal against them, and I watched the match and we had a lot of opportunities, but we struggled to get all those. Who's to say what it's going to be like when we play against somebody just like Newcastle or something? Like, what are we going to do then? But, we'll have to see. I could go on for Crystal Palace for days. But, yeah, that's pretty much everything I just wanted to cover. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some soccer stuff real quick. And, yeah, just had to make sure I talked about Harry Kane, because I was like, I can't miss talking about him, because I always like randomly would just be shouting out Harry Kane when I'm playing FIFA or something, because he's a great goal scorer. He's going to do good for Bayern, but we just had to see about that. But yeah, just make sure you guys check out Leagues Cup final Saturday night, Women's World Cup finals Sunday morning at like 6 a.m. I think the League Cup finals at like 9:30 or something. So yeah, League Cup finals Saturday at like 9 or 9:30. Women's World Cup final at 6 a.m. if you're up. If not, just watch the replay or whatever. And then if you're rocking with my team, if you're rocking with the Palace, you can catch them on Monday, I believe. I think they play, I can't remember who they play. It's not Arsenal, but it might be Arsenal. It's somebody. It's a Monday. It's the Monday game, the one Monday game. So it should be a pretty good matchup. And I think it's at around 3 o'clock our time. Yeah, 15. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, those are just some 3 soccer matches. If you got time, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to watch some soccer, those are the ones I would pick for you to go watch. You know what I'm saying? Also just watch whatever. There's so much soccer going on, collegiate soccer going on. Like I said, the MLS, the USL's closing up. They're getting closer to the playoffs. So there's so much soccer to watch out here. So just go ahead and watch some. But yeah, with that, y'all, peace. Appreciate it for listening. Just don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and stay heavily opinionated.